you mentioned pride in your family. I remember distinctly thinking, we probably have one of the best families in our small town of about 1,000 people. And it was around between third and fourth grade that my life really started to fall apart for the first time. That seems to have happened several times. But that's where my parents' marriage started to deteriorate. And seeing that happen and understanding what's happening as a boy in fourth, fifth, sixth grade, how do you handle that publicly in a small town? And
even how do you make sense out of it?
yes, yeah. There were many nights of hearing my parents fighting. I was the oldest of three brothers, the one that was most able to see and understand things weren't right. And then the summer before I entered seventh grade, and seventh grade in our town was where middle school started. And so just as I'm about to enter middle school, my parents sat us down and told us that they would be getting a divorce. And it crushed me. I just, I was on the floor just weeping and begging them not to allow this to happen, and developed very severe anxiety at that time. And so in seventh grade, I would get to school, which was 2 blocks away, and feel overwhelmingly sick.
So was your dad gone and you were with your mom?
Yes, my dad moved out, and though he still stayed in the same town, and the town is a half mile square, and so he never lived more than 2 blocks away in town. And I just going to school and going out into public, going to friends' house, and who knows, and how do you make this public, and what do you say? And so I would feel sick, and I would go home and spend the day laying on the couch. I'd feel better once I knew I didn't have to be in school.
It sounds like beneath the anxiety is shame. It's shame
that
you're dealing with.
Just the flip side of that pride.
Yeah.
And so I would, in the summers, I almost missed enough days that I would have to repeat the year. So I developed this habit of, you just stuff it inside, and you have to walk into the place you're afraid of and just get through it. And it affected in summer swim team. I'd get up to the starting blocks and I couldn't race, and I'd go sit down, and the Lord did something very kind then. I think it was my mom that encouraged me to memorize scripture for when I was anxious. And so I memorized the Isaiah passage about those who trust in the Lord will mount up on wings as eagles and run and not go.
Let me just interrupt for a moment. I love that counsel, but I just want to highlight the fact that, we do live in a dramatically broken world.
We do.
That's not functioning the way God intended. Mm-hmm. I love how Paul characterized that world in Romans 8. He says we live in a world that's groaning, waiting for redemption. You groan when you're defeated. You groan when you're in pain. You groan when you're disappointed. Think of all the times you groan. That's such a evocative word to use. And I want people who are listening or watching to hear this. That brokenness will enter your door.
It will.
We do not have, even if you're in a Christian family, you don't have a ticket out of the broken world.
No.
For purposes that are for our good and for God's glory, He's decided that this is our address right now.